and the food usually goes first to mom and the older elephants, which is something that is natural and normal in their wild societies. So, does anybody want to guess what it is that Asha is so beautifully chewing on right now in the middle? What do you think that was? You can shout it out. Yeah, it was a popsicle, but it's a popsicle for elephants. So that's what we call an ice treat. And like I said, this is an enrichment presentation. And so ice treats are one type of enrichment that we give to the elephants. Ice treats are basically when we take a bucket and we put some sugar-free Kool-Aid in there and some produce, little yummy treats that they have to break apart the ice treat in order to get to the treats inside. But the really cool thing about ice treats is that it does give you guys the opportunity to see that there's no wrong or right way to enrichment. So the elephants can interact with enrichment however they would like. Asha chooses to pick it up, put it in her mouth like that, and chew on it. Other elephants usually like to step on it and crush it before they eat it. Other elephants like Rex, he likes to pick his ice treats up and rub them all over his face on a hot day to cool off before he decides to step on it and crush it. Other types of enrichment, do you guys recognize anything else that we put out here? What do you think? Some of it you have at home, yeah, what do you think? Yeah, the things they're eating now. So right now what they're eating is called cane. So that's a type of browse. Browse is just a fancy word for tree limbs or branches. And that's a very important part of the elephant's daily enrichment and diet plan. So they don't just eat the type of browse like that looks very leafy. They also eat very woody, hard types of trees. And they don't just eat the leaves. They eat the branches, the stems, even really big logs. They're able to crush that down with their big molars in their mouth and eat almost the entire tree. Do you guys know how many molars an elephant has in their mouth? How many teeth are in there? You can shout it out. It's not very many. I heard over here, yeah, only 4 teeth. Each one of those teeth is about the size of a brick, though, so they're really massive, and they do go through 6 sets of them throughout their lifetime. The new ones come in from the back, push the old ones out the front, so every once in a while we'll come in the morning and find a giant elephant tooth in the habitat that the elephants have lost overnight. So what other types of enrichment did you see out there? Yeah, the cereal. So they have some regular Cheerios out there. The elephants do really like different types of cereal, and that does promote a natural behavior called foraging. So that's something that elephants spend a good amount of time doing every single day. And if you'll notice, they won't leave any Cheerios behind. So even though they, bless you. So they will use the tip of their trunk that has a tiny little finger-like projection right there at the front that allows them to be very precise. So they can pick up a single Cheerio at a time and pop it right in their mouth, kind of like a Tic Tac. But even though their trunks are very precise, they're also very strong. So there's more muscles in their trunk than in our entire human body. That's lovely. Did you guys recognize anything else that we put in the habitat today? So the last thing that I put out there was some spices. The spice of the day was Italian seasoning. How many of you have Italian seasoning at home in your cupboards? Yeah, so we have plenty of different types of spices and scents and condiments and things that give the elephants different smells and different flavors. And we can rotate through them on a daily basis. So by the time we circle back around to Italian seasoning, it's been several weeks since they've had that smell, and it becomes novel and exciting again to them. And we don't just use this enrichment here in these presentations. We use them all over the habitat. We use them inside the barn, outside the barn, in the morning, in the evening. It's all about changing up routine and being creative. So things like I said, we have condiments. So we might take a day and just smear ketchup all over the logs outside. That's a very different change of scenery for the elephants, right? And they do each have their individual preferences. So some of the elephants really seem to enjoy mustard, while some of them really seem to enjoy mild hot sauce. It just depends on the elephant and their preferences, which is a pretty cool thing for us to get to explore. But now, I think you guys can see here today, elephants are pretty amazing animals, am I right? Am I right? Yeah. Unfortunately, though, there's less than 40,000 Asian elephants left in the world today. They are considered to be an endangered species. Does anybody know what the #1 threat is to Asian elephants? So I heard poaching. That's a really good guess. But if you look at these 4 elephants right here, what are they missing? Tusks. So these are Asian elephants, And with the Asian species, only the males get the big, long ivory tusks that are commonly poached in the wild. So African elephants, both males and females have tusks. So they're poached at a rate of about 100 elephants every day. Asian elephants have something that's an even bigger threat to them. What do you think? Any guesses over here? So it's actually habitat loss. Asian elephants have lost 93% of their total habitat to date. So they're living on tiny little fragmented islands of forest, and they're surrounded by humans. So they're having a really, really hard time with not coming into human-elephant conflict on a regular basis. So if you guys are sitting here wondering, what can I do to help? Right here at the zoo, we have a program called Roundup for Conservation. How many people have rounded up today? Raise your hand. All right, well, if you have not raised your hand, then today is your opportunity to really make a difference for elephants as well as other endangered species here at the zoo. Just by rounding up, every year you as a community raise over $100,000 in funds that goes directly to helping elephants and other animals in the wild. I see a couple of people have the wristbands out there too. So those wristbands, the proceeds from that go directly to helping endangered species as well. So we really appreciate it when you guys do round up here at the zoo. All right, well, that is going to wrap up our presentation here for today. Myself and Jess will hang out here. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to come down to the front. We'd be happy to answer them for you. Thank you so much for coming, and enjoy the rest of your day at the zoo.